All right, guys, we are getting everything set up. We have all the food in here. The freezer is full, the fridge is full, the Yeti is full of drinks. We are ready to hit the road.
We're Ryan and Megan, two traveling physical therapists who really enjoy this lifestyle and love sharing it with you. We've been on the road for the past 2 years, living in our fully renovated 1994 RV, along with a few other rentals thrown in, some more desirable than others. Recently, we took travel assignments in our hometown, bought a house, and found out that we'll be adding a little one to our travel adventures. Needless to say, traveling is about to get a whole lot more exciting. All right, it's Saturday morning and we are all packed up. This is the first time Big Betty is going out in about a year. So it feels really cool. We've got it all cleaned. Everything that we had in it is taken out, and now we've put stuff back in for this weekend. And I think this is the first time we've ever taken just Big Betty and no cars. So we don't have any other cars with us. We're just going to try and take her. Hopefully she doesn't break down. But we've got Ryan, Ryan's brother, his brother's friend, and Reagan with us. This is kind of a good opportunity to work out some of the kinks with RVing with Reagan, because we do want to try another travel contract with her, and we do want to try to use Big Betty. We really want to upgrade Big Betty once we know that we like it. So this will be a good testing weekend to figure out what works and what doesn't. And we'll be close to home and we'll be with family, so it should all be okay. Right, Reagan? All right, I'm going to get the RV started. Ryan is unhooking the electricity, and then we will pull off. You ready?
We're all loaded up.
Yeah, we are. It only took 2 days. 3 days.
More than 3 days.
Took the whole week to clean this thing, repack it. See, that's the thing about being ready. This is why we want to get it ready to go into camp mode, because if camping takes so much work every time, it's just exhausting and the parents are not going to enjoy it. So that's why we loved when we were in adventure mode with our Subaru. It was so easy and we could enjoy everything. That's what we want to get back to. We just have to work out some kinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you excited for the first time going camping with Reagan?
Yeah. Yeah, I told them I was excited and nervous, but like, this is pretty cool. It's like taking her out of like hibernation.
Yeah.
It's been a year. So it'll be really fun. It'll be like old times.
Yes. Okay, we're going to drop the jacks and get going. On the road again. Well, Memorial Day weekend, gas is a little high. So that's quite a bit, and that's not even filling up the whole tank. That's just 30 gallons of gas, and we're already over $100. Yikes. We finally got down to my grandpa's. It took a little while, but we got down a little bit past lunch and got all set up. As you can see, the RV is parked back here. We're hooked up to water and electric, no sewer, so we'll just have to watch our gray tank, but we do have a little bit of running water. And then my grandpa does have his little kind of house cabin back here and the big shed. So we have plenty of amenities if our RV isn't working out. One thing we did find is that our AC unit is not working, which is really inconvenient for summers here in Missouri. So another thing I'll have to look at on this old RV. But we are set up. We are a little bit unlevel, but enough that we'll be okay for the next 3 nights and 4 days that we're here. It's already really peaceful. We haven't actually been filming since we got down here, just enjoying my grandparents and this awesome place where I grew up camping. I actually never grew up camping, going to state parks or national parks or anything like that here in Missouri. I always came down to my grandpa's little place here on the lake, and we would tent camp. This was before we had the shed. This was before we really even had the modular cabin home here. We would tent camp, and I did that often throughout the summer on Memorial Day, 4th of July, your typical camping dates. Just a beautiful, serene place. My sister Megan and her boyfriend Nate are also here. They brought their kayaks and they've been doing some fishing. And then my parents will be coming down a little bit later on, and they're gonna bring the fishing boat. And so my grandpa has some fishing boats, so we're gonna do a bunch of fishing and relaxing right by the water. But you can't beat this beautiful place here.
I got a spider on mine. Ow, buddy.
Yeah,
Shiny chin. Who's that? Hi, Daddy.
Yeah, what you doing? What's on your fingers?
First official camp.
And you're in a hurry and you pull up too fast.
What you munching on there?
Some homemade ice cream. It's, from what I hear, a tradition and a staple of Turkey Creek. Just have homemade ice cream anytime you come down. So Grandma Sheila is the one who does it, and we thank her for it because it is very good. All right, so we've been here at Turkey Creek. We got everything set up. We thought we would kind of take you through and show you how everything has held up, because we've gotten quite a few questions on our videos from our RV renovation of how things have been holding up. And it's been 1 year of full-time use now and 1 year of storage. So thought we'd take you through and check it out. All right, so we're coming on in. This is the entrance. On the stairs, we did the luxury vinyl planks that we did throughout the rest of the RV, plus some batten boarding on the sides to kind of finish it off. I think we could have maybe finished it a little bit more with some trim or some caulking around the edges so they weren't so hard, but it has held up really nicely, especially with the board and batten being white. I would expect it to be really, really dirty, but it's looks fair and easy to wipe down. Yeah. So this is the front of the RV. This is the first time we've used Reagan's pack and play in here, and we're actually really happy with how it fits. We thought we wouldn't really be able to walk through this space without closing it up, but as you can see with it open, there's plenty of space to walk around, so that's awesome.
We actually used to have a coffee cart right here. You might have seen in some of our earlier videos where it held our Keurig and even our toaster oven. But since we added another human in our lives, we had to change this space up a little bit. So that coffee cart is actually in our rental apartment down in our basement.
We actually covered all of the couches and chairs with new fabric. Ryan's grandma did that for us, which was amazing. It was a really great update, and it's held up really, really well.
Can't even tell.
No issues at all. And then we also had a family friend put this new curtain together for the front, and that has also been absolutely perfect. I'm really happy that we decided to put in blackout roller shades from IKEA, because we needed the room to be dark for Reagan to be able to like go to bed early or take naps. and I wasn't even thinking of that, but that worked out really well. The shades have held up okay. Kind of on the sides with the fabric, they've become a little frayed occasionally, or some of them have trouble rolling up, but they were really, really cheap and easy to replace. We also painted all the walls and all of the cabinets, and I would say that the paint has held up amazingly. No chips in the paint, no issues with discoloration or becoming dirty. Ryan wiped them all down with a Lysol wipe before he left, and they wiped really good and clean. And then we also took the original hardware and sprayed it black, and I would say that wears a little bit more. Maybe we could have done like a top coat of a spray, which we didn't do.
Or sand it.
And we didn't sand them down, so that might, if you're looking to paint your original hardware, that might help it stay and last a little bit longer. But just with heavy use, sometimes the black paint chips off a little bit.
Yeah, all of our paint on the walls has done really well. Really, the areas that have blemishes was probably because we had a blemish when we painted it, because we're not professionals. Same thing with our cabinets, not really chipping any. Really, there's a few places maybe where the drawers have shut and it's kind of rubbed off a little bit, but that's just high use areas that are going to wear anyway. And that's with our RV being in storage, being in Arizona where it was like 100-degree weather. So it's gotten hot in here, and it's gotten cold in here because we were also left in storage during the winter. So that fluctuation of temperature can sometimes change the paint and make it wear. But everything's done really good. And once we wiped it down, it was like, oh,
It looked great.
It looked way better. It was like, oh, wow, we have white cabinets.
Another thing that has held up really well is our butcher block countertops. We're really, really happy with the fact that they have held up because they were really customizable and easy to do ourselves, because we were trying to save all the pennies that we could, and so we cut it, we finished it, we sanded it, all that ourselves, and it's held up great. In certain lighting, you could see like little scratch marks that have gotten in the countertops just from use, but it's definitely not distracting. It's not obvious. They wipe clean easily. I would definitely do it again.
One of our favorite things in the kitchen, and we thought of this when we were making the butcher block custom made, is at our sink here, we actually do have a double sink. This little butcher block insert comes out, and then you have both of our sinks. But it's really nice because we can put this butcher block insert in, and it totally makes us have more counter space for prep space, and then we can just use one side of the sink.
We do have a video on how we finished this butcher block. During our research of trying to figure out how to finish it, it seemed like there was just a lot of chunks of information, but nobody had put it together. So we tried to put a video together to kind of tell you how to finish it, and it's worked out really well for us. So if you're looking to finish some yourself, you can check that video out. So coming back to the bathroom, I would say this is probably where we get the most questions. We get the question about our walls that we put in often, and probably our tub. So as far as the walls go, we used a sheet of, I don't know what it's called.
Vinyl flooring.
Yeah, we used a sheet of vinyl flooring. We got it from Menards. It's the only place I've found that has sold this type of sheet of flooring that has some texture to it, and it looks like a really pretty stone. It's about 3/8 inch thick, and it's squishy, but it doesn't look like just a straight print. It has texture, which really helps with the aesthetic of the bathroom. It doesn't look like linoleum. And it has held up really, really well. We did have some additional water damage while it was in storage, and so the walls behind the flooring that we put on the wall is a little bit bowed, but this vinyl covering over the walls has not had any issues. It hasn't come undone. It's not leaked. We had a really good water seal with the shower. We never had any water damage while we were living in it using the shower. We just had water damage come from our roof. So it was completely unrelated to the bathroom walls. And then what we also did was painted our tub to make it kind of look a little bit more white and porcelain. And I would say that that has not held up as well as I would have liked. And part of it was how we did it initially. So we sprayed the tub, And then we had to get in the tub to put the walls on, and it wasn't quite dried enough. So by being in the tub, it kind of scratched things up, pulled up some of the paint. And then again, we didn't put a top coat layer on it, and I think that may have helped it seal a lot better as well. So that might be something to consider. Make sure you don't have to do another project where you're standing in the tub, and maybe do a couple coats and a top coat to seal it. But it doesn't come up when we shower or use the shower. It's not like it's peeling or anything actively, so you don't have to worry about that. But just getting a nice finish when you do the initial job will help it last a lot longer. And then lastly, I would say, even though we really like our shower head, the aesthetic of it is great, looks good, I would probably pick a different one just because there's no on and off switch to make the water turn on and off very easily. So we have a small hot water tank, and we have to turn the water on and off while we're showering. And because there's no on and off switch, we have to get the heat level right every time we turn the shower back on. So it takes a little bit more adjusting, takes a little extra time. So if you can find a pretty one that's got an easy on and off switch while you're showering, that'll make the whole process easier.
And to be honest, I would say that we actually don't really use our rain shower head that often. It just uses a lot of water, so that's going to fill up your tanks quickly and empty your fresh tank quickly. There's not much pressure because it kind of rains out. It has about as much pressure as a normal RV shower, so it's not like it's way less.
Right.
But we really don't typically use it. We typically use the little hand shower thing, mostly because, we're such a small hot water tank. We're turning it on and off. So again, kind of a negative for our shower, but hey, it looks nice. Oh, and another thing we always get asked questions on, our little bitty sink here in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. We got that from IKEA.
Yeah.
We found that there. That was like the smallest sink we could find, and it fits perfect in there. But we get a lot of questions on that. A little IKEA sink, and then the faucet, I think we just ordered off Amazon. It worked with it. Mm-hmm. And then again, we used that butcher block here in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think I have linked to the original sink in one of our original videos of the renovation. And since then, I've tried to find the link again, and I was having trouble finding this specific sink at IKEA, so it may be in and out of stock. But it was just the smallest one they had, and we went with it. Back here in the bedroom, we really just used the same shades, painted. We also put in pendant lights throughout the whole RV, and those have been great. The bulbs have lasted a long time. They don't use a lot of energy. Another thing we changed out was these overhead lights. We put in LED, and those have been amazing. They're so much brighter. They take a lot less energy as well.
And then again, we finished the little end tables, our little nightstands, the wood with the same stuff that we used for the butcher block. And that's held up well from nightly use.
Yeah, but it's not butcher block. We found a thinner piece of...
Yeah, a thinner, just common board, and then we stained it and did that, and makes it look really nice. Yeah, so that kind of gives you a tour of our RV. I'm not sure if we've done like a formal tour. The last thing we'll kind of talk about is probably our next biggest question that we get asked all the time is the vinyl flooring. So after about 5,000 miles driven here in Big Betty, how has your vinyl floor held up with it moving around, flexing and all that stuff? And I would say it has been perfect. And so I did this typical standard spacers that you are taught to do when you put in the vinyl flooring. Nothing has came loose, nothing has chipped, nothing has bowed. It cleans so well and it's very durable. I think really the only thing I would change with it is I would put a extra layer of insulation. We got the stuff that was extra thick and it had a little bit of insulation on it. It was the more luxury vinyl planks. And I thought that'd be enough insulation, but I think I would add a whole nother layer of it just to make our floors a little more warm. But they haven't been horrible.
They have been absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't say they've changed at all since we put them in. So definitely worth doing.
And in an RV, they're kind of ideal because they're waterproof. We've walked, I don't know how many times on these things, and they're not worn down, so they're kind of perfect for RVing. They clean easy.
We did get a question about whether we took up previous linoleum that was down on the floor. because we had carpet and we had some linoleum sections, and we actually just floored right over the linoleum. We took up the carpet, but that also has not been an issue and worked really well.
Yeah, we floored right over it. You can actually even see the old linoleum if you lift up the dinette seats down in there. But that's our RV. We have been really happy with it. Of course, with an RV that's over 25 years old, there's been different things, little leaks here and there, pipes, but really you're going to have that with any type of RV, whether it's used or new. So just be a little bit prepared to be a little bit handy. And I know for me, to keep a cool head and know that this happens, it's part of owning stuff. So far, the camping trip seems to be going okay. Like I told you earlier, I believe, our AC unit is not working. So again, another thing I will be working on. But it's been a really great RV for our family. And the renovation stuff has really held up way better than I think we planned for it to. Megan and I actually took a 4-wheeler trip around the lakes. There's multiple lakes here. And yeah, I did a little fishing this morning and enjoying family time. And so when we're doing that, we don't necessarily film all the time, but we do want to capture kind of the beauty of Turkey Creek.
And Reagan's first camping trip.
And Reagan's first camping trip.
In the RV.
And how did she sleep?
She did really well. She slept 4 hours and 4 hours, I think, and only woke up because I had to get up to get a heater to keep the camper warm enough. So that's definitely something we've been thinking will be challenging if we do try and live in this for a contract.
It's like one big room in our RV. There's no big slide outs or separate rooms. And so
once she's asleep, it'll be hard to do anything.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Some things we got to figure out. Well, guys, it's 5:30 in the morning. We've already been up for an hour. It is nice and calm out here along the lake. We got to see the sunrise. That's how early we were up. But not by our own will. We had a little bit of an ant problem that woke us up. An ant problem in the RV.
And then that woke the baby up.
Yep. And what we're finding on our first trip here with Reagan is we're not sure if Big Betty's going to work for this family. Megan, do you want to share the ant story?
I don't know if I want to relive the ant story. Well, Ryan actually woke up with a headache. And so then I woke up and I decided to pump. But we're keeping it dark in there and trying to be quiet so that we don't wake Reagan up. So I didn't even turn on lights or look at anything. Just slap my pumps on. And then all of a sudden I told Ryan, I feel like I've got ants all over me. And I had found a couple. And then Ryan checked my bedside stand and there were some there. So we sprayed them. And then I finished pumping and I looked down. And my bra was filled with ants. And my pump was filled with ants.
When I say we had an ants problem, Megan had ants in her pants and in other places.
That was a new experience.
So she quickly stripped all that off. And we did some major washing.
And
spraying.
They ruined milk. Which, if you're a mom, you know that is like number one, the biggest, like most catastrophic thing that can happen is ruined milk.
It seems like the ants were rather contained to that one area on Megan. So after a quick hose down, it seems like the ant problem's done now. But before we came, I did spray the RV with some home defense bug spray. So I don't know what happened. And since we were already up, we thought we'd come out here and enjoy the water, because Reagan's probably not going back to sleep.
Not for another half hour, so maybe we'll have an early morning nap. But it's kind of nice to be awake in the morning when everything's calm.
but I need to find some coffee. We are packing up the RV. It is Tuesday. We spent 4 good days here, 3 nights.
And we could see maybe surviving in this, but not thriving in this, right?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're brainstorming. We'll see kind of what the future holds. You never know. You might see us again in Big Betty. Just kind of depends on a lot of different factors, and that's kind of part of RVing and this lifestyle that we've chosen for ourselves. There's no pathway that we can follow from anyone else really doing it or documenting it for us to watch. And so that's what we hope to be for you guys as we kind of navigate this owning a home, owning an RV, living part-time at home, part-time on the road as travel therapists. It's kind of crazy. It's definitely unconventional, but we think we want to try to do it, and we think the pros outweigh the cons. Mm-hmm. And so it just takes a little bit of thinking, a little bit of uncertainty.
But it was definitely a lot of fun to be back in Big Betty, and I still love her.
Yeah, we've actually been really happy. It's not that we're like ready to kick Big Betty to the curb.
No.
It's been some sentimental moments definitely this weekend, looking at everything and just thinking about all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that we put into this thing.
Yeah, but thank you for joining along on this episode, and we'll catch you later doing something else.
Yeah, we got some big trips planned, so stay tuned for that because it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to try to explore a bit of Missouri and our neighboring states, so it'll be cool.
Alrighty, well, until next time, see ya!